So I get to change my get up a little bit, just a tad. Try to swing things around a little bit. So there's another thing is I am a jersey collector. As in a way, kind of like my midlife crisis type of hobby. This is an old Arizona Coyotes. This is a starter. This is a starter jersey. It's not the new, not one of the Adidas ones. One of the Adidas Prime Greens. This is one of my favorite jerseys. And I'm not going to get rid of this. I got to hold on to this because this has basically been, this is pretty much a brand. And it's a shame. It's an absolute shame that right now this is probably the most laughable franchise in the entire NHL. Rumors are going around talking that you're really much the biggest embarrassment. The biggest, kind of like the biggest. I wouldn't even say biggest embarrassment, but you kind of are if you're the only NHL team that basically plays in a college barn. In case anybody knows, this is the best rough draft story that you don't know of, that if you're not familiar with, of what's going on in Arizona. Arizona normally plays in Glendale boy, I'm going to have to look this up. Give me a second. I'm just off the top of my head. It used to be, I get the toy with this right now. It's going to change once I get a mic. They used to play in an arena called Gila River Arena, which is, Gila River is the name of a casino. It's a casino company base or like brand, and it's built right around that southwest area. And they couldn't pay their taxes, and they had tax issues, and they had someone to blame. They blamed it on the Coyotes. They weren't selling. They weren't selling. 2, they weren't winning, and they kicked them out. The Phoenix Suns would not bring them back into what is it called, Footprint Arena, where the Phoenix Suns play. So the Arizona Coyotes don't have a place to play. So they got kicked out, and they had nowhere to play until they figured out, oh, wait a minute, Arizona State's just building a new 5,000-seat arena. Maybe we can hang out there for a little while until we, renegotiate with these guys, and let's get dead now. They're playing in there right now. 5,000-seat building, almost the same size as the Pagula building in Penn State. About the same size. That building takes about 5,000, almost 6,000. This is about the same, but you are pretty much an embarrassment because you're playing in a college barn. You can't make you can't make any offers toward the people that run Gila River, and then they just recently changed their name to Desert Diamond Arena, which I believe is a rebrand, and they still won't take them back. That arena, in case anyone keeps forgetting, is next door to State Farm Stadium where the Cardinals play football. Glendale is about a rough stretch, 35 some minutes suburban Phoenix. And the Coyotes have nowhere to play. So they have to play in a college barn until they get a stadium figured out. And it's been a little bit of a topsy-turvy thing. Very topsy-turvy. They had a recent proposal of a big downtown entertainment production and construction area in Tempe, right in college area. The state told them no. And then unanimously told them no. So what do you do in a situation like this where you're stuck playing in a college arena and hoping that you're not going to be packing your bags and moving? Well, unfortunately, now there's rumors going around that the owner wants to find land just outside or somewhere in the vicinity of Mesa. I don't mind that idea, but let's get this. Let's put it into a little bit of perspective. If you move the team to Mesa, you're still the Arizona Coyotes. Right now, Arizona Arizona sports is a little bit taking a little bit of a hit, a little bit of a downward spiral recently. It's not necessarily a great place to play sports right now unless you're like a couple things. The Cardinals are a mess. The Diamondbacks are actually playing okay right now until they play the Dodgers and they get knocked out of the wild card. The Suns are playing well. You get Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and you just got Bradley Beal. But you were in the finals a couple years ago and you got beat by Milwaukee. Last year you got beat in the playoffs again. Who knows what you do now in Phoenix? And Phoenix has a lot of things to do. Arizona's not a bad state. There's places to it's not California, but it's a lot of stuff to do. There's hiking, there's skiing, the colleges are great in the area. But at the same time, your sports are not necessarily the greatest thing going right now. Even the college sports is not going as great as you thought it would. Arizona is hit and miss until they play basketball. Arizona State is hit and miss until they play basketball. Their football is okay. But Arizona has everything except hockey. And who knows about hockey? They have a minor league soccer team. But there's not a whole heck of a lot of positivity going around because you got two teams representing Phoenix, and that's the Suns and the Diamondbacks because Chase Field is in town Phoenix, high elevation, beautiful stadium. Got a friend who lives out there. She says it's a gorgeous ballpark. And she gets to see when the Pirates come in, she's actually gone to Tempe and seen them play the Penguins. So, but at the same time, it's a college barn. It's an easy ticket. But if you try to save the team, how many people do you know or athletes are gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna be playing in Mesa this weekend. We're the Detroit Red Wings and we're getting ready to go to Mesa to play the Coyotes. I could start, if you know anything, put comments in. But if the Coyotes get land to build a new arena in Mesa, arguably, if you're not the Green Bay Packers, you might be the smallest market. You might be the smallest market team in North America in the Big Five, including MLS. You very well might be smaller than Green Bay, and Green Bay is the smallest, no owner, and it's hard to get free agents out there. But it's Arizona playing in Mesa. I mean, you could say it can work because there are franchises all around the U.S., North America, that are designated somewhere and they play somewhere else. Like the Dallas Cowboys play in Arlington. That's suburban Dallas. Everybody has an outskirts that they have somewhere just because there's land to build a stadium. But Arizona has the easiest way out. And down the road, I'll have some times where once I get situated, I get to talk with people. I might be able to talk with some old co-workers, and once we get situated with camera work and have our podcast, we get to talk about what cool things could happen as far as what would expansion and work, the relocation. My opinion for the Arizona Coyotes, as much as I enjoyed and will always treasure this brand, the Kachina, I don't think I'm going to buy another jersey. This is the only Coyote jersey I have. I don't think I'm going to get any other one. I don't even like their third. The reverse retros are nice, though. But Arizona has the easiest way out. And the easiest way out, in this case, is to pack your stuff, get in a U-Haul, and drive all the way out to Houston, where Houston has everything. Fourth, fifth biggest city in the U.S. They have everything. You've got the Texans. They're in a rebuild. The Rockets are in a rebuild. The Astros are World Series champions. They're doing fine. And you got the soccer team. The Dynamo's still playing. Is the easiest answer to the Arizona Coyote situation, but nobody in Arizona, or at least the ownership and management, don't want to hear it because they're trying desperately to save this team so they don't have to go to Houston. or a Salt Lake, or a Sacramento, or a Kansas City. The easiest thing is to pack this stuff and move to Houston. Have the team there. You have a building. The Toyota Center's there. Rebrand the team. Make them the old Houston Aeros from back in the day and in the IHL. That's what their name was. Look them up. And then you're going to have the brand, rebrand. You're going to have a very positive outlook for a rivalry with the Dallas Stars. You add another Midwest team. You add another Midwest city. And you don't have to screw anything up geographically. Maybe the only other thing you may have to do is you may have to move somebody to the Pacific Division. But you may not have to do. You might have to move Colorado to the Central. But that's the easiest thing for this team, which I'm a fan of. But you're not going to save this team. And also remember, this was Gary Bettman. This was Commissioner Gary Bettman's choice. This was his baby. This was his idea that when the Winnipeg Jets, the old Winnipeg Jets, were having issues simply trying to afford a new building and they couldn't do it because of the Canadian dollar, this was his idea. Move the team to Phoenix. He'll find somebody to be a buyer and call it a day. For 25 years, one Western Conference appearance. One Western Conference final appearance. They got beat by the Kings. One probably Hall of Famer. It's a great brand. But in times change. And there's not a lot of people. The demand has kind of gone down. There's many things to do in Arizona. And there are sports that people in Arizona give a damn about. And they've got history. They've got history, and it's something to do. But, of course, it's something to do if you're winning. The Suns are winning. The Diamondbacks are young and winning. Cardinals, they're going to be probably one of the three worst teams in the league this year. There are many other things to do, and I'd hate to see this team leave. But moving this team to Houston is the best COA out of this entire thing. Salt Lake City's not a bad idea. Kansas City's not a bad idea. Patrick Mahomes has already said he would easily be one of the first people to support a move and bring a team to Kansas City. He's already part owner of the soccer team. So I'm not really a fan of them moving, but I'm also, in the way the times and the way the world has worked, as me being 48 years old, now realizing that the world is flying faster than you never believe. I'm not a great person about change, but once it happens, it's not really going to be a bad thing. Houston, if I'm a Penguins fan, I'll go to Houston for a game. Houston comes to PPG, I'm buying a ticket. I will buy a Houston Aeros jersey. I would be down for that in a heartbeat. But in the way of speaking, there's too much in the world that just goes on, and sometimes if you're an owner or you're a person of interest, that when you think outside the box, you get commended for thinking outside the box, because certain people want selective people that like thinking about ideas and thinking about ideas outside the box, because some of those can work. But when some of those don't work, sometimes you just gotta go with the easiest COA and call it a day. And I think this is it. I mean, the NHL wants to expand to 36, but that's not happening for a long time yet. And that's one of the greatest debates. But until then, we can't do anything until we figure out this thing. I like this. It's an old starter, and I'm not going to get rid of this. I got to hold on to this. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just have to let go. And Sometimes when an experiment doesn't work, and you keep doing everything you possibly can to just go to the hardware store and buy stuff here and there so you can refix it and kind of like reinvent yourself, and you think, well, I've had this for 13 years and I just keep redoing it and redoing it, and it keeps getting another year and year afterwards. And at the end of the day, you don't really become a complete idiot. You're just going to know when something doesn't work. And as far as I know, there's still people in the entire necessary hockey world that still does not like Gary Bettman to a T. Nobody likes him. Nobody does. He's been there long enough. He's done some good things. But when he comes out and has a microphone, doing his speech in front of the Stanley Cup, and he gets booed, I ball laughing. Nobody likes him. He has to just get the light bulb in his head and go, all right, didn't work. I had 25 years. We had a buyer. We let it go for 25 years. It didn't work. Houston's just down the road. A couple states over. It's an easy drive. Salt Lake's just up the road. Those two cities want sport. Houston already's got a ton. Salt Lake can easily take NHL. Kansas City can easily take NHL. So can Sacramento. Sacramento don't have a whole heck of a lot. But Houston is the easiest thing I could think of as far as putting this thing to bed. Arizona, a lot of things to do. They had their time to have ice. It's a good brand. I like the brand. It didn't work. It's okay. People in Arizona, it's okay. You guys have a lot of things to do. A lot of stuff to go to. You got 2 good colleges. Your baseball team's good. Your basketball team, the NBA is always going to sell downtown Phoenix. And keep your head up. The Cardinals will be fine. They're going to stink for the next couple years. If Kyler Murray comes back, they might be okay. Take it. Just take the L. Gary Bettman needs to take the L. It's okay. Sometimes things don't work. And it's totally okay, even 25 years after.